What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So today I did want to talk about something here at the Chase Squad. I've been seeing people discussing it, and I've also been thinking about this a bit. But my question is, though, did the Year 2 pass sell well in Motorfest? And if it didn't, well, what are some ways it probably could have sold even better? Now, we all do know the Chase Squad is going to be the main part of the entire Year 2 pass because you're probably not going to be buying the Year 2 pass for the cars itself that you get, because you're pretty much only getting them for free, whereas everybody else will get them a week later. So that is probably not going to be a reason to spend money on the Year 2 pass. So that is going to give everybody the reason to buy the big Chase Squad thing here, which is going to basically be a $30 playlist. So I'm wondering, how did this thing really sell? The way I did want to look at this, though, is looking at the events. Let's see how many people have completed each one, and I will go from there and talk about this a bit more, and most likely go over ways it probably could have done better, which I think is probably going to be obvious. But the first event I do want to look at here is going to be the day one, which is going to be the first one in the entire game, guys. 133,000 is going to be the players ranked on this one. We're then going to have on Training Beast 129,000. After that, we're then going to have Dog Eat Dog, which is going to be 127,000. We're then going to have 125. After that, on Encounter, 123. On Chase Squad Assemble, we have 121. Let's see, Night Off, we have 119. So it is going down a bit. Dogged, Mindset, almost said Dodged, funnily enough, but 117,000 there. And then finally, guys, the last one, 117,000 as well. And the final one here, which is Dogs versus Cats. This is going to be 117,000 players that are ranked that did end up completing every single event in the entire thing, which I would say is honestly fairly decent considering the cost of the entire Year 2 pass and stuff. And what you did end up getting, I would say 117,000 is fairly decent. But that's the thing, though. Let's move over to the rivals and see how many people completed some of these. So for this, I'm not going to go over every single one of these. I feel like that's a bit insane, but I will take a look at a few of them. So the first one here is the Hunter Killer. Let's see. Can I look at squad details? That isn't going to help me. There we go. Can I look at, there's the leaderboard. So 78,000 players are ranked on this one here, which is going to be like the first one you do. Moving over to the next one, guys, I will go right to the boss, which is going to be the Lion Details. Once again, leaderboard, 71,000 have completed that one. Moving down over here, let's go over to the Porsche. This is going to be details again, leaderboard, 71,000 on that one. Once again, moving over to the Beamer, what we got, 67,000. So that's 4,000 less players did the first one. Did not even bother taking out the BMW. Moving over here to the Fiat. Let's see. So we have 70,000 on that one. Moving over to the Alfa Romeo, we have 68,000 on that. And then once again, this one was going to be 70. So around 2,000 or roughly something around that. Then we're going to have Cinnamon here, which again is going to be around 70,000 players ranked. Out of curiosity, though, the other one here, which is going to be Catnip, this one is going to be at 68,000. And finally, the lovely last one, which is Speedbolt, is going to be around 66,000. Did end up being ranked and completing this. Overall, though, guys, there's one more I wanted to look at. The final boss, which is going to be Sam. Clicking on this one here. 65,000 players have completed all the rivals in the game because you have to do it in order to do this one. That's 65,000 players did all of these, or at least did end up going through all of them, getting them all done as the chase part of it. I'm not talking about the other one that's going to be in the new playlist, which is Made in Japan Volume 2. That's, when you race them. But 65,000 players did every single rival, which is going to be the biggest selling point of the entire playlist, okay? If we move back over to the events again, so we have 65,000 on the main rival, and then going all the way back down to the final event here, which is going to be all the main events in the entire playlist, which you do have to do all of these, I believe, to do the rivals anyway. So looking at this again, that is going to be 117,000 compared to 65, which is legit going to be, what is that, like 50,000 almost or something? That's a difference of players that basically did all the events and only around 50 plus thousand less did end up doing the rivals. That's honestly pretty insane to think about. So I'm going to say right now a lot of players did all the events but did not end up completing the rivals, mainly because maybe they didn't feel like it, maybe they weren't liking it, not sure on that, but either way, those are going to be pretty insane numbers and differences. Now, the other thing I did want to look at, though, is going to be Made in Japan Volume 2, looking at the events on this one as well, comparing it to that. Now, I do understand, again, this is going to be a free playlist to everybody, which I would say makes sense. I mean, they kind of had to add that. Then we're also going to have the $30 playlist, which is going to be the Chase Squad focus. So out of curiosity, guys, let's see the first event. 1,245,000 players are ranked on the first event. My goodness, man, that's insane. The next one, we have 1,171,000. We are then going to have the style one, 1,127,000. We are then going to have the 1,090,000 and so on. I'm just going to skip to the bottom one here. We have 1 million players still finish the entire playlist compared to 117,000, man. That is legit a very big difference. But here's the thing. Let's also head over to the rivals and check these out. So this is the other side of it. And also, if you might have been wondering, the rivals here in the Made in Japan Volume 2 playlist are obviously going to be the exact same ones in the Chase Squad, but instead of racing them, you basically take them down. So the first one here is going to be Hunter Killer once again. Let's click on this here. I guess I cannot. Oh, I have to look at squad details. Can I not look at the leaderboard of this? Or is there not a way to look at the leaderboards? Maybe there isn't because I'm not seeing one on any of these. I guess there's not a way to look at the leaderboards on the racing side of it. But if I had to guess, though, it's probably going to be incredibly similar to the events where I'm guessing every single one is most likely going to be well over 700, 800, even 900,000 people have probably done all of them. Because the funny part about this, guys, on the regular Made in Japan Volume 2 playlist, you know, the free one, you can also get all 5 of these cars right here that you see. The Speedbolt, Shade, you're also going to get Sam and the Lion and also the Tank as well. You will get all of these cars for doing this, which is kind of funny because, you know, this is going to be a free playlist. Everybody obviously went through it. We have 1 million players that completed every event inside of this one, to where if we go back to the other one, you only have around 117,000 people did it. Now, I do understand this thing is going to be paid. That's probably the biggest reason. But I'm willing to bet right now if this wasn't $30, if they charged maybe 10 to 15, which honestly I would say, guys, $15 is still pushing it for a single playlist. Maybe $10 on this would have been fine because, yeah, you're going to have new events. I do understand they have these 7 chase cars in there or whatever, but it's really not offering an incredibly new thing in the game for a said $30. I mean, heck, every single rival is going to be the same ones we've already fought or already went against, which I think is a bit ridiculous. Like, imagine having these 4 cars here maybe being other police cars you can get or something, or maybe you go against like a corrupted undercover version of the car you have. You know what I'm saying? Make this stuff interesting. That way, if the people were looking at it going, okay, well, you know, this is $30, but look at these 4 or 5 special vehicles here instead of Shade. Maybe it could be like one of the other cars, like maybe a special helicopter. Let's say the Ford Mustang Dark Horse is going to be this one right here, which is Speedbolt or even Shade or something. Maybe that could be an undercover version of that cop car. You take all 4 of them down. That's going to be like a corrupted race. You take them down and boom, you're not going to have the Chase Squad livery. That would be pretty dope. Don't y'all think that would also make a lot more players go, yo, this is pretty dang unique, man. Okay, so this playlist is looking pretty dang cool. I'm liking this, but instead, we're only really having the same exact rivals, which don't do anything different. As far as I do know, they all perform the same way. They all drive the same way. It is honestly kind of boring when you really do look at it. One thing I was a bit frustrated with, someone did mention in a comment not too long ago that I did think about. You all remember like the big video they had about the rivals being a new thing in the game where you hunt them down and stuff, which I would say the design of that's going to be dope, how it takes you to that set area, you find them. I do like that factor about it. That's pretty cool. The thing I am confused about though is they were saying it's going to have replayability and stuff like based on difficulty or something. And the thing is, if you are on level 1 or level 5, considering every other event is the same way, it only gives you a little bit more XP and nothing else. And as far as I do know, again, every single rival, or like, you know, when you are chasing them or whatever, you are probably going to notice that they really don't change the way they drive, or like they don't do some crazy stuff when you are chasing them. They pretty much follow a set route and they go around turns and all that. They have the same amount of health. Nothing really changes about it, man. It's a tad frustrating. I was kind of hoping, based on difficulty, maybe extra money, maybe they have more health or something. Maybe if it was on level 5 compared to like level 1, maybe the cars might randomly stop or something so you can't hit them. And that's the biggest thing to me though, like make the rivals interesting when you are chasing them, have different movements. But it does feel like in some ways all 20 plus rivals are going to have the exact same things to them. They really don't do anything all that special, which kind of makes me wonder, because again, I understand the rivals are going to be the same thing from the other playlist, which that one is going to be free, so you take all of them down in the lovely, Chase Squad playlist. You don't get anything from them, but in that one you're going to get 5 vehicles. But on the Chase Squad part of it, you're not going to get a single new vehicle from any of the rivals. Like, don't y'all think they should probably aim at making this way more interesting? I mean, again, this is going to be a $30 playlist. Like, if you really did want to get something that's going to be worth $30, shouldn't it have some dope things in it? But instead, I feel like they really did honestly miss the mark on this, guys. Like, the way I've been seeing people discuss this on, like, Instagram or even X, and then also Discord, where someone goes, y'all, should I buy the Chase Squad? And everyone's like, no, don't do it. It's not worth the price. You're not really getting anything special out of the Year 2 Pass and all that, which we all do know the Year 2 Pass has the Chase Squad in it. Yeah, you get the vehicles, even though they're giving us less vehicles than the Year 1 Pass in that, which was kind of insane. And again, none of those vehicles are going to be special because you can just buy them a week later. Not really sure why they were trying to sell those into the Year 2 Pass like that, but the biggest selling point was going to be a single playlist with 9 main events. And for me, though, the craziest part, though, was only the final event in the entire playlist was going to have the biggest, I guess you could say, chase part of it to the entire thing. The other ones, you basically do a time trial. We have a lot of those, or one of the lovely navigation races, which I do know people don't like them. Then you're also going to have the point target smash, which is the first 2 events. Those were going to be kind of cool, but players probably are like, okay, so it's an introduction. Makes sense, right? That's also why they should probably have maybe 15 events in this one and not 9, to where you have more events focused on the last one, which I would probably say we can all agree with most likely really fit the entire pursuit, like Chase Squad type of thing. At least the end of the event did anyway, because that was my favorite part about it. For me though, guys, you know what the saddest part is? Like, looking through the events, I have had no desire to go through any of them. You know why? Because, well, going through the events though, you then have to follow the said racer for like a minute, minute and 30 seconds, and then you can end up taking them down. I honestly was not enjoying that. I was like, why can't we have real races like Hot Pursuit or something? You have 6 or 7 racers, you take them down. I did talk about this in a different video. Why would they not have something like that? Like, why is everything focused on, okay, here's a minute, minute and 30 seconds, follow the said racer, and then you can take them down? Is that going to be designed to make the races longer or something? And that's what it did end up feeling like to me. When I was going through the events, I was like, these are kind of designed to make you stay in the event longer. There is no reason for you to follow that said racer for around a minute and 30 seconds and then take them down, which normally takes around 20 to 30 seconds to do that part. Why not give the racers more health and have a better time in like an interception type of event? That is going to most likely take longer because they have more health. You have to chase them down. Doesn't that make a lot of sense, man? Like, I just feel like they really missed the mark on this. And I gotta say it again, making the entire playlist $30 with this design really made absolutely no sense to me on that thought process. Do let me know what y'all think about this in the comments below. I'm going to guess and say right now that the entire Year 2 Pass thing most likely didn't do that great, because we were always seeing the other editions of Motorfest constantly on sale, which does kind of concern me for the future of this game.